To the best of my understanding, I've gone live, so my screen says otherwise at the moment. So, but hey, that's how things roll on the internet, and this is exciting. This is way exciting for me because uh, I've been entertaining myself, getting prepared for all of this here again today, and I had a blue screen of death last night. So if anybody that's computer savvy, I was getting this all prepared for today because I got some special things to share. And hey, there's Christine. Hi, Christine. I've got somebody in the comment section, and I'm gonna have a challenge here. So anyway, I had the blue screen of death last night, and that was making me nervous. However, I to the best of my ability, I've made this all work out, and I'm here, and you're there, and I appreciate you all hanging out and listening in. So we will get to this. Let's see. So I got a whole lot of stuff going on in front of me, and all you get to see are the pretty colors. And I'm going to do my best to provide a nice, enjoyable service for everyone. I see there's some people from, Annie. I see Annie, Lisa, Jody, Christine. Cool. This is really nice to see. And I'm still getting used to the screens here as to who's on what where and who said what. So, oh, I remember now. Where did my apologies here? I'll get going here. I just there's some there we go. That's what I'm looking for. A screen was hiding on me here, so now I can see comments, see what I'm doing, and cool. Now unfortunately I'm gonna have a challenge. I won't be able to see comments very well. I'll do what I can to check things out. And I trust a couple of ministers may be on, or ministers in training that will be jump on and help out with any comments. Appreciate all the. Yep, there's one. I see. Yep, Catherine is on, one of the MITs. Cool. Appreciate that. If you can help with comments and things, because the screen just happens to sit right behind what I'm going to be working with, the document I'm working with today. So this is Kat, I see. Judy. Hi, Judy. Lori. Rachel is on. Sherry. So if I miss you, I apologize because I gotta hide the chat comments here at the moment so we can get started. Appreciate y'all being here, and this will be helpful, fun, and joyous, and I want to welcome everybody to the Society of Novus Spiritus Sunday Service Facebook Live. If you're new to the Society of Novus Spiritus, Society of Novus Spiritus was founded by the late Sylvia Brown in April of 1986. Let's see. I apologize. I just thought of, hey, can anybody hear me? But I guess I haven't heard any comments. So likewise. So in April of 1986, Sylvia Brown embarked upon the most important chapter of her life. She founded a spiritual organization called Society of Novus Spiritus. The decision was a natural extension of her love for God and for all of humanity. Novus is Sylvia's monument to God, a forum to express the joy and love that is God, with no fear, no guilt, no sin, no hell, and no Satan. Through Novus, Sylvia gives the world a means, excuse me, this is emotional, a means to understand God, life, and the reason for being. You can read more details about the Society of Novus Spiritus on our website at novus.org. We've got a wonderful update from recent times, and it's very, I like the look of it. And I trust everybody else does too. Let's see, can I get a quick comment in here? Somebody tell me if you can hear me okay. Oops, hello. going to be jumping around here. Can hear you just fine, says Aaron. Appreciate that. Lori says, I hear you. Kathy says, hi. Aloha, Reverend Tom, from Kristen. Holy cow. Let's see. Virginia Beach, Virginia, from Nancy. Cool. Let's see. Jennifer from Tennessee says, hello. Let's see. Michael says, I can hear you well, says Kristen. Hear you great. Hear you fine. Well, the fun part is, there's like this 7-second delay or so between the time I'm actually talking, making, gestures and so on, and you get to see and hear me. But I appreciate that, because that's helpful information with all the other fun stuff. One of these days I'll get a picture of what from behind me where you guys get to see what's going on here. But hey, this is part of that'll be a behind the scenes for posting later for fun. However, let's see, where are we? I've got, I want to welcome, express welcome. I'm the host, Reverend Tom Bigley. I am a cardinal and a board member on Society of Novus Spiritus. I've been a minister for over 25 years. Some more about myself. I enjoy working with people with hypnosis, spiritual counseling. Dream analysis is one of my favorites to work with, helping people understand dreams, as well as, let's see, I've hosted study groups in various formats over time. Those are always fun. I enjoy sharing and helping others understand what we're, what Novus philosophy can do for them. I also host the New Spirit radio show along with Catherine. She and I get on every Wednesday and share our thoughts and help people understand what the philosophy can do for us. I live in the San Francisco Bay Area with my fiance Rosie, and I have 2 adult children, Ben and Sue. Let's see. An outline. Let's see. I wanted to give kind of an outline of what I'm going to go through today. Take a moment and I am going to perform communion ceremony, and plus today is a special Sunday service for us. It's the summer solstice, and so I encourage to for communion grab a little edible. I've got like a little piece of tortilla chip. I'll make it little, and a little bit of I like ginger beer. We typically do like some non-alcoholic juice of some kind for communion. So grab something like that for yourself, because later after communion, I'll verbally walk us through the steps of our Sunday service. And let's see. So sit back, relax, enjoy. Again, this is a special Sunday service. It's the summer solstice, and the special is I've got audio of a Sunday service with Sylvia and Larry Beck. It'll start out with Larry Beck and then go into Sylvia. So really nice recordings from the past. Unfortunately, we don't have video, but that's, we're taking steps at a time to get us to this point. Normally in a service, you'll see the congregation sitting as an audience, and at the front will be a podium and a table to the left or the right with our communion trays and different things for services. Because it's a summer solstice, there would be 2 tables, one on either side, and one with the communion trays, and the other table on the other side would be for, and I'm pointing in terms of the way you would look at it, how we normally do services. There would be a tray for, in our case for today, candles. Of course, I'm not going to UPS things at this time, and I don't have a table to my left, but just for fun visuals of how we normally perform services. Usually we, as at a regular Sunday service, we have music where the ministers will proceed in, and one of the ministers lights the candle to signify starting of the ceremony, which, let's see, I'm trying to remember. Oh, it'll be in the steps, so this is outline. And we would welcome the congregation. We then collect petitions. A minister walks around with a tray and we collect petitions. We'd have a first song. Then we go into the opening prayer and we would introduce the speakers. And because this service is special, it goes into the summer solstice explanation. We would have a specific meditation for this ceremony. Then we have communion prayer. And then communion is integrated with the special service. The ceremony is that you'll grab, I'll explain it, but you do communion and then proceed over and grab candle. We do collections and announcements. Then we have petitions where we share about each other's needs, wants, and wishes as far as special prayers. So there's petitions and testimonials. We have a moment of silence. Then the benediction, a second song, and a closing prayer, which will be a special prayer for this service. And then the candle is extinguished and signifying the end of service, and then we proceed out. So that's typically what we do for an in-person Sunday service. I did want to note, let's see, song, benediction, close prayer. Okay, so all of the prayers, if you look in the notes for this, Facebook Live, I put all the prayers in, I put all the special prayers in for this service. So you'll see, you can read along or you can listen along, however you like. There is a special prayer for the service that everybody is usually, well, when we're local, participates in as far as reading some of the prayer out loud. And I'm going to work through that. But I encourage you to follow along. All the prayers are there. And I'll explain a little more about that as we get to it. Let's see, candling, extinguish, we got that. And of course, today's service is slightly modified for Facebook Live. So, typically, this is where we'd have the music start and ministers would proceed in. We would light the candle, and yes, I'm going to light a candle. And if you can see, if I can see, if you can see what I see, we light a candle. Make sure you can see it. And make sure it doesn't burn anything. And I want to welcome everyone to the Society of Novus Spiritus on Facebook Live. This is a wonderful evolution for us, and I'm playing many hats here. Let's see. So yes, I am nervous because I'm juggling many hats at this moment, and I'm doing what I can to keep moving this forward. Since I'm doing about 3 people's things here all by myself. So good morning. We usually, for fun, I'm gonna present how we like to do this at an in-person. So I encourage people to silence their cell phones, and of course, even where you're at, it'd be fun to silence your cell phone just so that you're not distracted. Typically, we do invite everyone for a friendship greeting, which is we ask people to turn to their neighbors and say hi, and of course, we're at long social distancing at this point if we're on the internet. But we encourage that to share, and we come together to pay homage to Mother and Father God as we support one another in our search for truth. And normally at this time, starting from the back row, we have ushers that collect your petitions. So you can, sorry, the ushers will not collect your petition at this time, so you can present it during the ceremony. That's one of the special changes we do during a special ceremony. These petitions are private between you and God. No one ever reads what you've written. The petitions are typically taken after service and are burned. This is symbolic of giving your request to the power of the universe and to Mother God. And then the ashes are placed in a garden. And we've recently, on New Spirit Radio, we've recently heard about the, somewhere in here, recent or past or coming in the future here, because I edit those, the importance of the petitions and the ceremony behind it on the other side. They actually do write petitions on the other side, and there's a special urn that people place their petitions in. And then we would usually go into a first song, but unfortunately at this time I haven't quite ironed out the issues of music on here and not getting kicked off or getting our recordings deleted. So I've eliminated music as best I can to make sure we don't get tossed off. And then I go into the opening prayer. And you're welcome to follow along. Again, I put the prayers in the comments in the description of this our Facebook Live for today. And before I jump into that, I just want to double check here that I see I got comments coming in here. Cool. Okay. Kathleen, Judy, yep, there's still comments coming, so we're still on air. Oh, I see Chris and Jen and Jessica, Tangela, wonderful. Okay, Sherry. I'll have to work on reading those later. I probably use up way more time than I should here. Again, before we get into this, or move on through this and go through the opening prayer, if for some reason I disappear, I guess I'd request one of our MITs or ministers to text me and let me know, because I may not be aware of it, or I may be aware of it. I had a major crash last night as I was preparing this and testing out what we're doing here, so what I'm doing. So, speaking of which, I could probably assist in this and make this. Okay, sorry. So, for the opening prayer, Dear Father and Mother God, please bless our efforts in this renewed religion. Let the new spirit of enlightenment rinse out all guilt and fear. We come to you, God, knowing that you know our name, knowing that you know our hearts, minds, and souls. We want to learn our lessons so that we can make the journey of life easier, so that we can perfect faster than we have throughout all our lives. From this moment on, we will love ourselves and others, and let your supreme love light the lamp of our souls. We will be imbued with love and judgment of will to get us on track and keep us on our perfection scheme. We will truly be a light in a lonely desert that enlightens many. Amen. Arem Shem Beth Sedal Sakravillian Ahad. And the translation is, Blessed be this Queen on high, who is sacred to all who come to her. And now I'd like to introduce the speaker for today. Sylvia Brown will provide us with a spiritual talk. And will be preceded by Larry Beck. And please welcome Sylvia Brown. And sorry, I'm juggling different things here. So let me get to, because these are recordings, and I got to do. I'm doing my best here. Oops. I missed something here. I apologize. I got to do a quick technical difficulty adjustment here. Where'd we go? Okay. So that's working. Oh, okay. All right. All right. Yeah. Sorry. I'm still nervous here because something's not functioning properly here. Okay. Now I'm nervous. Okay. I got that. I missed putting something in here early because I had a crash, so I apologize for taking a moment here to figure out where I got to add something here real quick. We know who I am. Okay, let's see if I can get that. And that's why... Well, that didn't seem to work properly. I got to try one more thing. I apologize. Be patient with me here, and we'll move this forward. This is a part of what gave me a crash last night. Bingo. Now, do me a favor. Can you hear me again? I just want to make sure you can hear me, even though I look like Sylvia right now. 1, 2, and I hope to see comments pop up. I see replying to, oh, okay. Chris Rodriguez. Let's see. Jen is there. Make this, oh, thanks, Rob. Yes, we can, says Jen. Appreciate that. Okay, so I hit the right button. Appreciate that. Well, this was a big hurdle for me, and I just managed to get this working. So, okay, cool. We've got audio, and we've now got video part of this, and we're gonna, and since it looks like we're doing the right thing here, cool. Hi, Jeffrey, Jerry, Judy says, yes, I can hear you. Hi, Judy, how's it going? And, oh, look how nice I look with Sylvia. Very good. Okay, so I'm introducing Larry, who's going to precede Sylvia here. Larry's going to talk for a little bit, and then we'll jump into Sylvia. So enjoy this.
Good morning for the third time. How are you? How are you? It's good to see you guys. Nice summer day does tempt us, I know, but this is a church, so we resist temptation, don't we? Never mind. As you know, we are Gnostic, capital G, Gnostic, which means translated truth or knowledge. But transliterated means seeking your own truth or knowledge. That's what we do. In that pursuit, Sylvia, of course, gives classes with Rahim and Francine, a few etheric friends, in which they talk about many wondrous things. And in fact, they are the source of our books called Journey of the Soul. But also, there's many other prophets out there of the good kind. This particular book I'm holding up is by Joseph Campbell. Most of us are familiar with Joseph Campbell. He spent his life researching and studying about mythologies. And we have had the privilege of having further input from Joseph Campbell. This particular book was recommended because it's a collection of his old essays or lectures. This one is known as Myths to Live By Joseph Campbell. And in here are marvelous treasures. I have read a few, and I wanted to share one in particular with you today. And it's regarding the myth of love. Love. As you recall, we just said the opening prayer. From this moment on, we will love ourselves and others. That's, hard to do. Probably in our culture, it's a lot easier to love others than it is to love ourselves. But within that mystery, and Joseph talks about it as a mystery, there are some wonderful things I just simply had to share with you. So I will risk boring you by reading from this book. But I've done that before, so it's a pretty small price for you to pay. This struck me so much, mainly because we are Gnostic, and he is going to quote a Persian mythology which is straight out of the Gnostic Bible, known as the Other Bible. It's identical. Let me read this. It's great. One of the most amazing images of love that I know is Persian, a mythical Persian representation of Satan as the most loyal lover of God. Not what you call our typical view of Satan, is it? No, it's not. Brings to mind some questions, and we'll answer those hopefully. You will have heard the old legend of how when God created the angels, and of course Satan or Lucifer was one of those angels, when God created the angels, he commanded them to pay worship to no one but himself. Not unreasonable. God made the angels and said, worship me, the one God. But then, upon creating man, us, man, God commanded the angels to bow in reverence to man, his most noble of works. So here we have the angels were told, only worship me. God then turns around and says, oh, look, see them down there? Bow in reverence to them. Well, one particular angel, and he was an archangel, Lucifer, refused. Because, we are told, of his pride. However, according to this Muslim reading, in this case, it was rather because Lucifer loved God and adored God so deeply and so intensely that he could not bring himself to pay homage to any but God. Quite a tale, huh? And how has that tale come to us through the Judeo-Christian theme, that it was some kind of evil that was manifest and thrown out of heaven? I don't think so. Sylvia has said, since I've known her, lo, these 20 years, there is no such thing as a devil, red suit, horn, pitchforking you in life and tempting you to do evil. No such thing. There is no such thing as an evil devil or a bad thing out there upon which all of evil revolves. Doesn't happen. Why is this story in a book about love? Well, a treatise. Because only love can cause the immense pain that many hearts feel. Isn't it funny? The greatest of loves can invoke the greatest of pains in our soul. And in fact, hell has been called absence from God, isn't it? And we know this, don't we? When as Franny says, our radios shut down and we can't communicate, we have no reciprocation, we feel isolated and alone. That's our hell, because we have lost the voice of God somewhere in our life. Even though we don't hear it real strongly all the time, we feel that it's there. The same myth came out in a wonderful book, which is out of print, unfortunately. Dialogues with the Devil. Excellent text. God, if you ever find it in an old bookstore, buy it. You got to have it. Taylor Caldwell was the author. And this was a series of letters between Lucifer and St. Michael. Pretty much the same myth evolves, because Lucifer said, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just showing God that man is full of bunk. And by creating situations, man hangs himself. And, we do. Real simply, we do. We march into life full of great purpose and intent, and then immediately when a problem arises, what happens? We're tested. And then the testing goes on year after year after year, and some of us get tired of it. And then we quit living, because life is one big, long battle for your own soul, isn't it? Against all manner of adversity. And we give you tools here. We tell you about this. We're aware of it. Doesn't make it any easier, my friends, but at least gives you something to hang on to, a place to go with your heart and your soul when life comes up and smacks you upside the head, as we see it do to many of our loved ones. I might close by mentioning Joseph Campbell has many, many archetypal stories in this book. He never ever comes to a final statement about this means you should do the following. He never comes to a conclusion, and he has a bit of remorse about that. The good news is we have other more brilliant voices that will help you make those obvious conclusions about life and the myth and the battle. And I would like to ask you to join me.
Hey, are we still, So that was Larry, and I'm getting an error message here. So am I still active, or, let's see. I've got a couple seconds here before I think you guys see what I'm not seeing here. So I want to make sure that I'm still active on the output, that it's getting across, because my screen, as far as Facebook shows, is the sound cut out, and at the end, yes. Heard, or still active. Okay. Do you still see me and my name? Because Facebook is saying, sorry, my Facebook page is saying, sorry, I can't, lost audio on Larry, but can hear you. Okay. What about my video? Well, hear you. Yes, we see you, Tom. Great, thank you very much, Catherine. This is was making me a little willy-nilly nervous here. I guess I gotta stop. I was trying to type comments in here, and I guess that's not a good idea at this point, as far as how all these different activities are going on the computers here. So I'm for geeks, I'm running at, unfortunately, 96% of my CPU, and yesterday I was like at 99, and it got a blue screen on me. So I'm doing what I can to play, how do you say, conserve. Conserve. And so I'll see if my screen comes back, and I'll have to look for comments once in a while just to make sure I'm still doing video here. So unfortunately, the my feedback from Facebook is having difficulty, but it says, okay, we're still here. So, and I see the comment says we're still here. So that was Larry's talk. It was short, and then he's going to introduce Sylvia here, and we'll move forward. And I'll do what I can to watch comments. If like every minute, a couple minutes, if you can say, hey, I hear you and I see Sylvia or something like that, that'll give me a helpful heads up, because that we're still active here. And now I want to introduce Sylvia. Here's her talk for today.
And I would like to ask you to join me in welcome that brilliant voice, Sylvia Brown.
Today is teaching day. This is from the Unvarnished Gospels, and I would really recommend that you go out and buy these books that we recommend to you, because if people just stand up and tell you things like you've been told through many religions, who's to say that the person speaking is truth? Now, could a lot of books be wrong? Of course they can. But when you start getting into weaving into the Gnostic Gospels, you start finding what the real truth was in the translation of the way they should have been, not the way church said. So when we say what we don't care about is the Bible today, does not mean we do not believe in the Bible as it was in its entirety, without getting screwed up, literally, to fit someone's greed. And like Larry was so aptly putting it, Satan was a great tool, because Satan became not the angel, but the archetypal evil that pounced through the world, and unless you came to church to get it rinsed from your soul, you would be damned to hell. And that's the fear. And then, of course, we had the sin. I want to read you a few things that I find to be very interesting. It says, Jesus spends quite a large part of his preaching time attacking the legislative approach to religion and fear, and warning his followers not to get lost in the letter of the law. The best indication of what he is up against is the existence of a whole class of religious lawyers, whose business it is to know whether Moses would allow planting potatoes in months with an R in them. In this translation, these people are called the Canon Lawyers. Now, you must realize that the Canon Lawyers were the Sanhedrin. And the Sanhedrin were the ones that what? Crucified him. And why did they? Because he was preaching what? Goodness and love, and he was also against the Old Testament. That's why he says so profoundly, I come to bring you peace, love, and the new law. And they said, no, you don't. Because we can't rule unless we have fear. Now, let me tell you something else that's so interesting. Sin. As in the cases of baptism in heaven, the Greek word rendered as sin is less exclusive and sacred and more of an everyday word than in traditional English translation by which the churches have used it. Also, it may not have been quite so cursed and polluted a word as sin. Literally, hamartia is just missing the mark. That's what sin means. It is aiming at something perceived as good, but judging wrong and picking the wrong targets, and then also not shooting straight. For the reason just given, and not to minimize the importance of human action for good or evil, the translation usually means or speaks of errors or doing wrong against oneself. As for the sinners, the term would apply not just to the authors of real crimes, but to anyone that was not a good practicing Jew. Now, you say, now you must think, because you're Gnostics. Are you Christian or are you Jew? Christ was a Jew, but he taught what? His Christianity. They didn't like that. And even after his passing, although he didn't die on the cross, we don't believe that, but he did die. And he certainly was sacrificed, wasn't he? And he certainly went through the tortures of the damned, and he was slandered and hurt. Nevertheless, they were furious with him, and the only one that saved him was a Roman. Because a Roman, Pontius Pilate, that we've always believed crucified him, didn't he? Let him go up on the cross for 3 hours and then said, I'll take you down. But what he was afraid of was the ruling Sanhedrin. Now, this is not to make Jews bad or Christians bad or whatever. I'm saying it got so messed up and it filtered down through, I'm sure the same as Buddhism has, and I'm sure the same as Islamic has. But people are so willing to accept whatever comes out of someone's mouth rather than research what's the original, and maybe we won't always know what the total original texts were. But we have to be thinking enough and researching enough to know that God did put us down here, excuse me, to love, to be separated from God, as Larry said, and to be in hell. And that's where we came. And don't you see, even the original myth of Adam and Eve, and that's a myth that keeps repeating itself in every culture. There's always a first man and woman. In any culture you want to, whether it's Indian, Persian, Oriental, any culture, you have an Adam and Eve. By any other name are the same. That once they were to gain knowledge, what did they have to do? They had to be put on earth. Because you can't have knowledge without what? Experience. And so God said, not necessarily literally, we and God said, the only way I can experience for you, God, is to go down and go through the trenches. I could stand up here all day and tell you what childbirth is like, or a headache is like, or an orgasm is like, and if you haven't had it, you say, that sounds nice to me, but I don't know what she's talking about. So in order to experience this orgasm of life, and it really is, I don't mean the sexuality of it, I'm talking about the beauty, the pain, the sorrow, and experiencing for God, because we are all fingers of God that move. That's the only way we could do it. The tragedy is, man in his evil decided this was a good profit-making Wall Street organization. And people got lost in, as it says by Christ's words, got lost in the legality of it, the dogmatic. And he was furious because he said, who cares if Moses planted potatoes? And they said, oh, he talked bad about Moses? Because you see, in Judaic religion, I know because I was there, they only subscribe to the first 5 scrolls. So you figure out who's believing what. And no wonder we get confused. What do we believe anymore? If you don't believe just the simplest denominator, because I don't think it was ever meant to be complex, is that we're doing as much good as we can do. Certainly we have missed the mark, haven't we? That's part of the learning. Wouldn't you hate to be so perfect that you could say to someone, I never have done a wrong thing in my life? Who could say that? Who could stand up and say, I've never made a bad judgment? I've always trusted the right people. I'd be first in line. With my both hands waving. But that's part of the experience. And the deeper you love, let me tell you something, the harder you're hit. You say, well, that can't be right. Oh, yes. Because the deeper you get into love, the deeper spiritually you become, the more God, your God, not this ominous God out here that says, oh, you're really good. Watch me give you more pain. See, we got the opposite. We said, oh, she's having so much and he's having so much pain. It must be cursed. As if the devil has nothing to do on a wet Wednesday, run around and have your tires get flat and you have surgery. Or that God, on a wet Thursday, decides, well, she's had it too good for a while. Let's give her a knife or two. No, no, no. We have no one to blame but ourselves. Ultimately. That doesn't mean our knees don't buckle. That doesn't mean we just don't feel that we've got this knife sticking out of us that we can't reach our arm up high enough to pull it out. But it's all the experiencing for God. And the deeper the love goes for the beloved, which is God, the ultimate beloved, mother and father, both God, the pain becomes more exquisite in its agony. Because the deeper it goes, the more we want to go home, the more we want to be faced with God again and be wrapped in the arms of God. And that's what we go through in this life. The separation, as Joseph Campbell said, and as Christ said, and as Mohammedan said, as Buddha said, every leader that's come has said simply, forget this dogma stuff. Live the right path of consciousness. Live a good life. Experience for God, and then have the decency to go home. But no, we had sin, we had venial sin, we had mortal sin. We had sin that we didn't even know about. We had sin if we thought a bad thought. And that's not just Catholicism, it's all over the place. But the Holy Book says, what? You turn the page and it'll say something different. Because I've taught Bible for years. One page, you're damned to hell because you're a prophet. The next page, in the same Deuteronomy, Joseph, interpret dreams because you're a prophet. What? Your brain starts getting crazy. Missing the mark. So when you say to yourself, God, if I missed the mark, so what? That's part of the learning if you miss the mark. Now, are we talking about the dark, dark entities that roam the world and deliberately target us? No. They are there. Dark entities abound. We know that. Soul dark. And they put all kinds of roadblocks in our way. But we have protection. We have armor. We have swords of Asna. But let's pull that terrible mantle that has been layered on Christ for 2,000 years and let's see his face. Let's get rid of that bleeding, sorrowful, crucified, thorn-topped Christ and follow the God-man that was. Let's make sure that our message that he wanted so badly to be given to people, keep repeating. Because then he didn't die in vain. I used to say that when I was in school. But he did die in vain because you're saying the wrong thing. They say, shut up. And that's what his fear was, that it would become so convoluted. Do you realize in not all of history, Christ put pen to paper himself? Are you aware of that? Not once. And after we pass, our words may get convoluted, but we're in the present now. And it's sometimes, like Larry said, let's take hour by hour anymore. And sometimes that's what you have to do in the darkness that is upon us. Hour by hour. It used to be day by day, week by week. No, I think we're getting down to hour by hour. But like I said the other night at Trellis, this is an exciting time. This is a time that we really can magnify our soul for God. This is a time when we can get rid of the hate and the fear and the guilt and uproot that from our soul, because that keeps the love of God from coming in, and it shrouds us from God. As Christ said, our Father who art in heaven. He didn't say, my Jesus who is here on earth. He said, listen to me. This is the way you pray, our Father who art in heaven. We said, oh yeah, I understand that, but let's get all this gummy stuff down here. Let's make it so convoluted and so crazy that when people get up and talk, I don't know what they're saying. We were listening to a religious leader down in Los Angeles. It comes on the cable station. And a lot of people I know like this person. I'm telling you the truth. I swear to you. And I've met the man, and I think he's a nice man. I kept saying to Larry, I've had a stroke. I don't understand what he's saying. He said, if you know it, you'll know it. If you don't know it, you won't know it. And I said, well, what? What don't I know that I know? He said, but if you really, really knew it, you would know it, and you would do something about it. But if you don't know it, you can't do anything about it. And I said, oh, please. And everybody was going, yeah. Yeah. And then I go into my whirl out number. What is wrong? Why don't people think? If you hear me say something you don't like, it, say in your mind, audit. Get it out. But the logic, where did religion get so far from logic and love of God? Where did it go? You know, the early Indian teachings, and I know that I must have been Indian, Eastern Indian, because the early Indian teachings, as well as even today's, as well as the Persians, were so much more real than ours. And we call every other religion a myth or wrong. We say the Egyptian Book of the Dead is crazy. The Kabbalah is nuts. The Quran is lousy. No. You know why they were never accepted? Because they were metaphysical. And it seemed that they thought that the spirituality and the profiting, not profit as money, but foretelling future and knowing and seeing, they didn't want people running around and being psychic. Don't you see? That's split from the rulership. And if I rule you, you can't grow. And you must grow in your own ministry of your soul between you and God. And when you do that, you will have some contentment and peace in your soul. Not total, but at least you'll know that the light of God and the Christ consciousness that can come in and be in your soul. People say, I accept Jesus Christ. I said, but with what price? Because you were afraid? Oh yeah, because if I don't, I'm not going to get to heaven. But what about the people that don't know? Are they going to get there? Oh, I can't be bothered with that. Of course they will. Do you think that the mother who toils over in Africa for 6 children and spends her life, God's going to say, I'm sorry, you didn't know about Jesus, so you can't come in. Crazy stuff. Because didn't God make Orientals and Africans and Persians and Jews and everybody else? God just made one group. I know the Jews say that they're the chosen people. If what they've been through is chosen, we don't want to do that either. And that is a beautiful religion. And the true Jew that believes in the Kabbalah is a very mystical, and they're really a cutoff from. And they're more Gnostic in many ways than a lot of Gnostics. Like Larry said, Gnosis, the Gnostic is truth. And the Gnostic forever seeks the truth of God without any sidecars, bumpers, tentacles hanging. We go all through this life preparing for death. We either prepare for death for ourselves or for other people. My mother today, as we speak, is in a state of dying. You would say to me, possibly, why would she be here? Because my mother is beyond knowing who I am. And so I can do more by wishing and hoping and you praying with me today that she goes quickly. Because that's what it really meant. When somebody was going to die, the congregation or the Gnostic group would group together and pray for the fast exit of the person that was going. It makes it easier. Now, when I leave here, I will go to her. But with your help and with mine, or anyone that you have, let's pray today that she goes. She's 89 years old. She's not in there anymore. She's got to go home. But to show you that that's part of the path. And you say, why isn't she screaming, crying, throwing herself around? Because that's part of it. I would be a hypocrite if I told you that, oh, I believe that death is just another passing through the door, and then got up here and threw myself around. Not that I'm not sad. Please believe that. But I'd be more sad if she hung in here and suffered. Because I know where she's going. I hope. It's an inside joke. So today, take your hour at a time, the love that you've had, the memories that you've had, living or dead, and all the bad things in which you didn't have the mark, put them away from you. Forget them. They were part of the experiencing for God.
And since there was no audience at that time, we can all, hey, thank you, Sylvia. That was wonderful information that you shared. And make sure we're still going. Oh my gosh, this is cool. I'm still having a screen blanks here, but hey, we're moving along. The important thing is we get to hear, we get to share. We're all thinking about this, all thinking about, being together and, participating in this ceremony and celebration. So, and I'm getting accustomed to, I'm getting distracted with all kinds of screens and things on my end here and doing my best to, hey, the audience is out there. I got to pay attention out there. So let's see. So the next thing, I'd love to read comments at a later time. I see quite a few people were enjoying the what Sylvia and Larry spoke about, which is great. And by all means, share this with others. Promote this. And I want to get back to services here, so I'll do our best. I'm going to be running a little blind here, just because I got to hide comments and things like that. So, so the next phase to the next steps for the ceremony today, the special service, is the explanation of the summer solstice. This is the celebration of the summer solstice. It's the time in which all the faithful would bring gifts and coins in honor of benefits that have been received through the year. The ancient Gnostics were convinced that what was bestowed must in token be paid back. This, in present day, is converted to help the church, which helps spread the word of the mother goddess, Asna. From Egypt to Mesopotamia to pre-Columbian, the mother goddess has been the bearer of gifts and bountiful blessings, and with quick decisiveness hands out her sword as well as her laurel wreath of justice. This is also a time to bless and sanctify children. Those of you who have children near you, maybe you're welcome to stand or hang out and participate and have them blessed as well, part of the ceremony. Those of you that did not bring children may stand and mentally have your children around you. Just picture in your mind the family around you. While standing, we will ask also our mother's blessing for all children. The children that are sick in hospitals, children molested or alone or abandoned or homeless. We ask for the blessing from the Great Mother to surround all of the children and keep them safe and imbue them with the wisdom of Gnosticism. In the name of the Mother God, Asna, Amen. And you're welcome to be seated let's see, and we will now raise our consciousness in a prayer in which all will participate. And if you look in the description, there's a prayer for the congregation, and it talks about with the big M next to it. That's what I'll be reading. And then the big C is for the congregation. So you're welcome to read along and participate with this wonderful prayer for our summer solstice. I'm going to read them both just to carry us through, and then people can hear what the prayer is about. And it starts with the minister. Dearest Mother Asna, Queen of the Universe, please magnify our knowledge and faith. Congregation, we love and adore you, our Queen. Minister, Asna, we pay homage and gratitude to you this day. Congregation, thank you, Asna, for your omnipotent presence. Minister, these tokens we will give are symbolic of the thankfulness we feel for your love and protection. Congregation, dearest Mother, keep us safe. Minister, we feel your love, and we in turn also offer our hearts and souls to you. Congregation, dearest Mother, protect us and our children. Minister, dearest Mother, please also include us in your mantle of protection because we are all your children. Congregation, Mother, give us courage to spread your holy name. Minister, the courage, dear Asna, Queen of the Universe, to make this world turn white in your name. Congregation, make us more discerning, Mother. Minister, make us more far-seeing, and just as we know you are the ultimate of justice. Congregation, thank you, Asna. Our love and your love has bound us together. Minister, blessed be thy holy name. And that was our prayer. The next for the service is the meditation. We encourage people to sit with their feet flat on the floor and their palms upward on their lap to receive grace and energy and any kind of special needs that you have. Find a spot, because this one's a wonderful visual and it's a lengthy meditation, and it has some helpful visualization and reminders of where we've come from with Gnosticism. The following meditation was given for the first time by Sylvia Brown at the first summer solstice service, where said in the meditation, I refers to Sylvia speaking. And so here's the meditation. I'd like you to take a few deep breaths to let out all the stresses and strains and worries and concerns of the day or the week or the month, however far back you like to let go of things. You recognize the concerns for things. And it's take a few deep breaths. Relaxing the mind, body, and spirit. And now the meditation. Close your eyes and put your hands upward on your thighs. I want to take you on a trip far back into eons of time. Far back to when I know in my heart and soul we were together. I want to try to transmit with the help of Asna now to take you on a trip with me. First, feel the white light of the Holy Spirit around you. I want you to feel the purple light of God the Father, the golden light of the Christ consciousness, and the rose-color mauve hue that is Asna's color. I want you to circulate these colors around you, and as you do, I want you to take a deep breath and release all the negativity, all the work stress, all the heartache, all the pain and adversity, all the slings and arrows of outrageous misfortune. Let them melt away. There will be no invasion on your person. That the healing light of God will be lit in your soul, and that your soul and my soul travel this road together and will make peace with ourselves this day. Say within our hearts we will be undaunted, because the trials of life are many, but not if someone walks with us. I want you to see us on a very dusty road. We have sandals and rough clothing. We are walking along, and it is towards twilight. Some of us are linked together talking. Some of us are walking silently. Some holding hands. Some carrying children. There is a donkey being pulled here and there. Behind us, the men are carrying food. There are some fruit and vegetables. In the far-off distance, we can hear a slight sound of thunder. As we hear this, we begin to move a little faster. It is hot and dusty. We are a little bit tired, and as we say, footsore. Most of us in the village nearby worked all day, but will not keep us away from where we are going. All of a sudden, in front of us, in the purple light of the sliding sun, we see an opening in the granite rock. At first, it looks like a shadow, and then we see the rock moves and someone from inside pushes it. We enter this granite rock enclosure, and as we do, out of the darkness, someone greets us with a torch. As small as it may be, it looks like it has been dipped in some kind of lard, because the smell at first is rancid. But that smell soon passes, because the cool of the cave makes us feel not so tired or footsore. We know we have to do this in secrecy. It is almost as if we are hiding from something, but going towards something. Yet we are undaunted, and we are filled with such inspiration as we go. We seem to know exactly what we are doing. In an alcove, we pick up a candle that is made out of beeswax. Crude as it may be, we still pick it up and light from the torch. We all go to this room that looks like it literally has been exhumed by hands that have dug and chipped away to make this room. It is a little bit oppressive in here, with all these candles, but that is all right. Above us stands this golden, beautiful statue. It is not real gold, because we are not into gold calves or stature of gold, but it is painted with a bright dye we have used in the clay of the ground. Craftsmen have made it look so it is almost alabaster, because the wood smoothed to a fine glisten and oiled it till it shines like marble in the light of the candles. We sit cross-legged in the dirt. We lift our eyes, and we know that she does not reside in that statue, but it is something that reminds us of her omnipotent protection. We know we are supposed to meet here because of the talisman of the Gnostic. Like I showed that ministers the other night, if the eye of the amulet pointed to the snake, it meant to meet inside the granite wall. If the eye, which is the symbol, was pointed to the crab, it meant meet at the sea. If the eye pointed to the owl, meet in the forest. We know where we are to meet at this time. Some straggle in later, some are walking, some on crutches, but they make it. As we sit and give her way off in that distant time, her devotion, we feel all of a sudden a cool breeze that blows through the room, blessing our hearts. If at that moment we could transcend through time, let's see if we can't warp time. We are sitting cross-legged on that dirt floor. Some are precognitive enough to project to this moment. We are sitting in this room. You on the floor and you in this room have traveled all that long way to bring about the beneficence and the structure of the female principle of God, to bring about a more nurturing aspect to the patriarchal side of God. At that moment, as we stare at the statue of Asna, it is almost as if we can see her beautiful face surfacing over this wooden statue. A feeling of peace and the countless centuries of lying and hiding, fearing, being called names, shall come to an end. We sit there with smiles on our faces, knowing that at some later time, when all the eons that have passed, that we will collect together in a room such as this and bring about her words while you're sitting there. While you are sitting here, ask her now to bless you, your home, ask for protection, give her your love. Let's mentally now, for eternity, put the golden crown on her head. We certainly crowned our Lord. We crowned God. Let us tonight crown her. Feel yourself. Leave your woes and your pain at the feet of Asna. And as we will do in a few minutes, as we did through the eons of time, come forward and bring whatever meager, large, or nothing symbolically, whatever you wish, as a token of giving her your love and devotion for what she has given us. Now bring yourself back, all the way back. Bring yourself up to yourself, feeling absolutely marvelous, and on the count of 3, better than you have ever felt before. 1, 2, 3. Fully and totally alert. So, did we all make it back? And it looks like we're still, yep, we're still active. So I found a form of feedback here. This is our pre-communion instructions. Today we are celebrating communion and normally give out candles. All those present are most welcome to participate. As you would normally be directed forward by ushers, you would first place your petition in the collection tray provided. At Novus Spiritus, we believe in the power of petitions, which are prayers written to Mother God. These petitions are private between you and God and will not be read. But they will be burned and the ashes will be placed in a beautiful, beautiful rose garden. These written prayers are the symbol of releasing our prayers to God. And they should be very specific as to what you want and when you want it, since there is no time on the other side. If you haven't finished it, you may place it in the box after service. The communion is normally bread and non-alcoholic juice. The ministers normally celebrate communion first, and the ushers then direct the parishioners forward for their communion celebration, and would then be invited to take a candle. And we will begin by saying the communion prayer. And at the moment, I got to take a quick, I apologize for this, take a quick break, but I'll be back in a moment. I have an urgent issue here that I need to deal with. My apologies. I had to dash out and take care of an issue real quick. But hey, I'm back, and I want to share the communion prayer. Normally we'll have 2 ministers stand and hold the communion trays. And again, the wine is typically non-alcoholic. I happen to enjoy ginger beer because that's what's available for myself. And let's see. Sorry. The communion prayer. Dear Father and Mother God, we ask you to witness this communion, which is a symbol of finding our own God-centeredness and Christ consciousness. In doing this action of taking bread and wine, we are impressing on our higher consciousness that we are dedicating our lives to God's will. The symbol of this communion for us through Novus Spiritus means we wish to be born into the new spirit of true spirituality and let go of all the guilt and karma of our past lives and start fresh and new. From this time forward, we will be on track, fulfilling our themes and walking with the blessed aura of God's light. We do this as an activation of our will to symbolize to ourselves and the world that we walk in grace and free of all negativity. We ask this in your name, Amen. Arem, Shem, Beth Sedal, Sakavilian, Ahad. And the translation is, Blessed be this Queen on high that is sacred to all who come to her. And let's see, so normally what will happen is the ministers partake in, sorry, I'm moving screens around here, so I apologize for if I'm like looking all over the place. And, cool, Aaron says, I have my drink and bread ready. Well, I'm just going to say let's all do this together. So grab your items. And normally what would happen, though, I wanted to share, the ministers would file up and take communion, and then one of the ushers would then bring the crowd, the congregation up and participate as well. And during the service, people would come up as you would see on your left, participate in communion, and then walk over to what would be your right side and grab a candle as part of the service. So we've got our communion, so everybody's welcome to partake. We take some type of little edible, and these are extra crispy, so I hope it's not too loud. Enjoy. And the congregation files across for the service. And I'm going to check to see we're still... Yep. We're still active. That's good. That's good. I'm glad you're able to see this. And let's see. And while the congregation is processing, thank you, that's a better word. The congregation is processing, a minister repeats the following blessing for this service. With the lighting of these candles, we also light a candle in our soul as a symbol of our devotion. And that blessing is repeated several times. Historically, we have been able to do candles in various venues that we've held services, but as of recently, many of the venues we've gone to, places that we've held services, they haven't allowed any kind of candles or fire or anything of that nature. So we would hand out electronic candles or things of that nature for fun, just as representation. And let's see, where are we here? And of course, it takes a few minutes for congregation to partake in communion and grab a candle and file back to their seats. But I'm not going to wait for that. Just for we're online here. Now's the time for collections and announcements. We have now reached the portion of our service where we ask for your support. Before putting your contribution into the basket or sending it to us, please take a moment to thank the Mother and Father God for abundance in your life, and to request this abundance continues to come into your life. We thank you for your support of this church by your heartfelt donations given here today. And there's different ways you can send your support. You can start a study group, which is a subscription service. I talk more about that. Or talk to Bob. Call Bob, and he'd be glad to send you out a package. You can read about it on the Novus website, which has lots of helpful information. Describes more about Novus philosophy if you're new to this. Let's see. Other ways to donate. When you go to Amazon, look up smile.amazon.com, sign yourself up, get into your profile, sign yourself up for Smile or Amazon Smile, and say you want to donate to your favorite nonprofit or charity, which is Society of Novus Spiritus. And every time you make a purchase, some of that goes towards Novus. And let's see, what other ways? You can go to the website and novus.org and make a direct donation if you like. So there's different ways that you can donate. You also call the office and buy books from the office. That leaves, that profit goes directly to Novus Spiritus. Let's see. In a later date, I understand that Facebook and YouTube do have methods of button clicking and things like that to make it easy for donations, and that's another step, another evolution at some point will be available. So, and let's see, we've got announcements. I wrote some notes here. I'd like to take a moment here. Oh, look, somebody's got somebody from Novus donate. Oh, they put a big jar of coins. So yeah, that's cool. We're still there, and I'm taking a moment, since we're not in the middle of prayers and things, just to make sure I'm still going here. Which I opened my phone over there, and I can see that the video's still playing, so I have a little bit of feedback. Wanted to find out, leave comments or send us a message. I would like to know what you've been doing during shelter in place, now that it's many states, many cities are loosening, allowing more and more outside interaction. Have you been exercising, educating on the internet? Have you gotten to work at home, or have you been going to work because you're an essential? You have an essential job. I've been working from home myself for the most part, and let's see, my position as a realtor has also become an essential job, allowing me to go and help. And we've been learning about safety and how to help people buy and sell homes. So that's been a lot of fun education. Let's see, part of announcements, reminder about New Spirit Radio. If you go to the service Blog Talk Radio, we have our weekly trance sessions we call New Spirit Radio. Lots of different subject matter coming up. Francine and Rahim are sharing information, so check that out. You can go to the website, go to novus.org to find a link to get there. For some people, to view, you shouldn't have to log in or create a username, but then you won't be able to do chat. You can monitor chat, but you can't participate. If you want to participate, you can sign up, create a profile for yourself. It looks like you are going to be it appears that you would be a blogger, but there is a free service. There's a free subscription that you can get on, and from that it allows you to chat during the Facebook. Through our New Spirit Radio, and we're live every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific time, and then all of our shows are archived. We call it on-demand episodes are available as well. You can scroll through those. And eventually we want to evolve and move towards another venue, such as what I'm doing here, either Facebook or YouTube, over time, to give a broader reach. Also, look for Chris on YouTube Live. Chris Dufresne, Sylvia's son. He's, has a new website. That's a new promotion for him, so check that out, as well as SylviaBrown.com gets you to Sylvia Brown Group. He's constantly doing YouTube Live on a regular basis and providing a lot of fun, helpful things besides, helping people. Get a question and, participate in that. You can get a free psychic question from him. He's also on Instagram, so check out some of the posts that he's got there. Let's see, I've been helping him with the YouTube Live, getting him up and running and making that work for him. Let's see, Society of Novus Spiritus. Look for, I just opened the YouTube channel for Society of Novus Spiritus, so go search for that. I've uploaded the past 2 Sunday services, and eventually I'll take this one and copy it and send it over to YouTube as well for those that are not on Facebook. And if you know someone that's not on Facebook, either tell them to get on, or hey, go over to our YouTube channel and you can check out the recordings from all of the Sunday services that get posted there. Also look for a video about burning petitions. There's a wonderful prayer on there from Sylvia. Let's see, I'm talking about subscribe to Sunday service on YouTube Live in the near future. Yeah, if you go to the channel, subscribe. Need you to subscribe, and eventually that's our goal, is to, I think we want to move us over to that, do it on YouTube versus Facebook. It's just there's different benefits and pluses and minuses to it. So I started here because we've got so many followers, and I want to help support as many people. Let's see, the local Sunday services in Campbell, California, Taylor, Michigan, and Las Vegas, Nevada continue to suspend services due to concerns with COVID-19 safety concerns. So, that's part of the motivation behind my providing this service for Sunday as well. Let's see, I've got that, but by all means, please promote us on your favorite social media platform, whether it's a link or posting and say, send us a link, or sharing as best you can. That's greatly appreciated. Let people know about us. And I believe I covered the bases. And donate, as best you can at this time. We request donations. Let's see, now we have petitions and testimonials, and then a moment of silence, and then I read the benediction. Of course, I wonder if anybody's got any special petitions in the comments. I'm going to move over here. Hey, there it is. Somebody put a link to Chris Dufresne on YouTube. Cool. Appreciate that. So check that out. Petitions and testimonials. I at this time, I'm not sure if we can get any. Post them in the comments. Some testimonials or petitions, and I'll do what I can to grab a couple of those. And by all means, if you're putting in a petition in the comments, I am asking, as part of this service, that in our moment of silence, our energy, our blessings are going towards you, regardless of when you hear this, that your prayer and petition is being heard, and we're putting energy towards that. So I saw, let's see, Joji, if I'm pronouncing that right, Hodgetts, says, looks like they've been gardening and cooking during our shelter in place, which is fun activities. Lots of people doing that. And if I can update my screen here, there we go. Somebody agrees with me about YouTube. Would like to have prayers. Oh, so Aaron is asking, would like to have prayers towards giving us a SUV, trying to get one this week. Wonderful. Yes, we put blessings in that you find the right one that works for you, that is going to last a long time for your needs. And let's see. I know it takes me a couple seconds, and so it's going to take you a couple seconds, right? So, and we're on, going on a long time here. So I want to keep us moving forward as well. We got that. Okay. So I got one in there, and we'll look into those later. More of those petitions later, and testimonials are always fun to hear too. But I got to move on to the next. The benediction. This is the truest form of sacrament or sacred oath used by the Gnostics at Qumran of centuries ago. It is led by a minister and repeated by all. So this is not in the along with the prayers, but just listen and repeat after me. And I understand, we're at a time difference. It doesn't matter. You're going to hear me. Just say it, and that's part of the blessing. And so here's our benediction. Blessed be God the Father. Blessed be his holy name. Blessed be the name of Asna. Blessed be her holy name. Blessed be the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Blessed be his holy name. Blessed be the name of our founder, Sylvia Brown. Blessed be her holy name. Blessed be the archetypes that protect us. Blessed be their holy names. Blessed be our spirit guides. Blessed be all their holy names. Blessed be everyone here today. Blessed be all our names. Blessed be our loved ones not present. Blessed be all their names. Amen. Arem, Shem, Beth, Sadal, Sacrivillian, Ahad. The translation, blessed be this Queen on high who is sacred to all who come to her. Normally, we'd have a second song, and we're avoiding copyright infringements, so but just to share what we would normally do for a regular in-person service. And for this service, this is a special closing prayer. It is posted or written in the description, so you're welcome to read along or follow along and listen. And the closing prayer. Dearest Asna, Queen of the universe, Goddess that rules on the side of God, our Father, keep your mantle of protection around us. Accept our symbols as our gratitude to you and the help and love you have given to me and mine. Keep us forever in your heart as you are in ours. Keep this Gnostic movement pure and from harm, so it may grow and spread your name. Help us to keep the nurturing love that you have ordained and free the world from darkness and guilt. In doing so, dearest Mother, we can help you bring unity to this world of strife. We petition the duality of the Father God, and Mother Asna to bring us our God-centered Christ consciousness. If we are in darkness, Mother, give us light. If we are sick, give us health. If we are in fear, give us courage. If we are alone, give us love, and above all, Mother, give us peace and plenty of protection from our enemies. In your blessed name, Amen. Arem, Shem, Beth Sadal, Sacrivillian, Ahad. And again, the translation, blessed be this Queen on high that is sacred to all who come to her. Amen. God bless you. Have a great week and month. And normally we extinguish the candles, which Holy mackerel, this one's just about gone. We got short-term candles here. We extinguish the candle, and then we proceed out with music. Normally we have refreshments, but our refreshments are served at your local drive-thru. We encourage you to stay safe, wash your hands, wear a mask, keep your 6-foot distance. Looking forward to sharing again next month, and we'll talk to you then. That concludes our service for today. Normally I would kick myself off, but I just wanted to reach down and grab a few comments here and acknowledge a handful of people that have been on. Fortunately, we're still here. Cool. All right. Still active. And where'd it go? Grab something and then it updates and then I can't find it. So that's part of the challenge I have here is grabbing stuff here. So Raquel has a petition. My petition would be able to see my dad. He's been in the hospital. Hey, wait a minute. I'm trying to read that and it keeps jumping off the screen here. He's been in the hospital. We've been separated due to the CDC guidelines. Yes, that I understand as a challenge, emotional challenge. Let's see. I like your YouTube information, says one person. And I haven't figured out how to stop the screen from jumping around on here when I'm trying to scroll and read stuff. YouTube works a heck of a lot easier. Let's see. Okay, I've got that one. See my dad. Christine says, God bless. And let's see. Raquel says, thanks, Reverend Tom. Jody says, thank you so much. Thank you. Leslie, Tanya, you're welcome. Enjoyed this. Thanks so much for this, Tom. Blessings to everyone, says Rob. Now, where's my scrolling here? I have to learn how to get this scroll to stop jumping around here while I'm trying to read things. Christine says, thank you so much, everyone. Wonderful service. Glad you enjoyed that. I enjoyed it. I like to participate. I like to share. We like to feel, together. And that's what, and I'm trying to watch myself in a screen over here. That's just natural part of, hey, what do I got to pay attention to? But I got to pay attention to over there and share. But we're here. We're all sharing. We think together. We think that we are together. It's thoughts are things. We move forward from there. Enjoyed this, and you want to add some comments, by all means do. And before my computer warms itself, I'm gonna say blessings. See you next time. I will post another promo prior to. It'll be the first Sunday. I'm typically doing the first Sundays of the month for Facebook Live. If at some point I evolve to YouTube, don't fret. YouTube's easier to work with than, is in my opinion, for both viewers and myself than Facebook Live. But I'll make sure that everybody's aware of it, and I'll be taking this service and getting a copy of it and sending it over to our YouTube page. So looking forward to sharing more, and blessings to everyone, and happy summer solstice. Yes, it's early in the month. The solstice is on either somewhere between the 19th and the 21st, you can re-listen to this at this time if you like, or just know that it's we're blessed regardless of time, because there is no time on the other side. And let's see. So again, my name's Reverend Tom Bigley, and I enjoyed and appreciate your comments, and we'll look forward to sharing with you again. Take care.